You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, soap opera fans. It is Soap Dirt on YouTube. Today we want to talk about Young and the Restless. We want to talk about casting at Young and the Restless, and we specifically want to talk about 3 legacy characters that we really, really miss on Y&R. So we're going to talk about 2 dead legacy characters that we really miss, and one of them is alive but absent. One of the 2 dead legacy characters could certainly be brought back in terms of storyline, and another one cannot because the actor has passed away. All right, let's dig into this. But first, if you haven't already, please reach down and click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Young and the Restless spoilers, casting news, all the stuff you want to know about your favorite soap. All right, the first one we want to talk about is a legacy character they could bring back in a heartbeat. The actor isn't dead. The character isn't dead. There's no reason not to have him back. That is Doug Davison as Paul Williams. You know, Doug Davison was one of the longest running actors on Young and the Restless, on any soap really, but then he was sidelined during Mal Young's miserable regime. Back then, Mal Young, who was this British soap director they brought over, he was backburnering and writing out legacy characters left and right. He even signed line Eric Braeden as Victor Newman. But even after CBS axed Mal Young and put Josh Griffith in the showrunner role, they left Paul Williams missing in action. Now he's supposedly in Europe with his daughter Heather Stevens and the child she's raising, Lucy Ramalotti. And Christine Williams announced that she and Paul were splitting up. I mean, come on. Christine, aka Cricket, and Paul were endgame. So breaking them up to me is another sign that they are never planning to bring back Paul Williams. That's certainly how it feels now, but the GCPD needs its boss, and he's missed by a whole lot of fans. Even if they only had Paul back on recurring and they brought him in just when there were special criminal cases, it would be so nice to see Doug Davison back. He is a legacy character who is definitely missed. The actor would love to come back. The fans would love to have him back, and Y&R is just doing nothing about it. All right, the second one we're going to talk about, this is not a character that can be brought back because they have killed off the character, and then unfortunately the actor who played him also passed away, but we've included him because he's just really missed, and that becomes very apparent this coming week because of a special episode. Of course, we're talking about John Abbott. With his many kids at war, John Abbott is sorely missed right now. The soap killed his character off 15 years before the actor who played him, Jerry Douglas, passed away. What they did was they wrote this stroke situation for John Abbott to end his life on Y&R, and his family had to take him off life support due to complications of the stroke, and he died. In real life, Jerry Douglas died after a brief illness in late 2021, and that came 5 years after his last ghostly appearance on Young and the Restless, because they would still bring him back now and then to give advice to his kids as a presence from beyond. Jerry Douglas was 88 when he passed away, but even now, the echoes of John Abbott's absence are felt on the CBS soap. And it got more poignant when they brought back his estranged wife, Dina Mergeron. Remember when they brought back Marla Adams for that sad run where she had dementia and then they eventually lost her. So the good news is, the only good news in this is, if you miss John Abbott, that you're going to get to see him again, and that's going to come next week. There's an entire episode devoted to the character and its portrayer, Jerry Douglas, coming to Y&R on Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. This is a special standalone episode. I have a feeling that they constructed this episode as a way to fill a weekday slot with something that can be accomplished mostly with clips from the past, because the writers are on strike right now, so they are running out of new scripts written by the standard writers, and setting up this standalone episode tribute to John Abbott is not only a treat for fans, but it saves one more script to get them one day closer to this strike resolution. Another treat for this John Abbott episode is that Jerry Douglas Douglas's widow, Kim Douglas, is going to make an appearance as a special new character called Zelda Wilford, and she has a special tie to the legacy family of Abbotts. So if John Abbott is one that you are missing, then you get to see a little bit more of him next week. All right, the third one we want to talk about is a character who is presumed dead, but there was never a body found. And you know, in the soap world, that means they're alive. And the actress is very much alive and interested in returning to Y&R. And this is a character who people mention a lot as someone they would like to see back. And that's why we included her. And that is Drusilla Winters. She is another dead character fans would love to see back. And of course, the actress who plays her, Victoria Rowell, is alive and well. You may recall Drusilla Winters fell off a cliff and is presumed dead, but her body was never found. And that is the perfect setup for a soap opera resurrection. Given how recently they brought back Diane Jenkins to life, and, you know, Adam Newman has been killed and come back to life enough times to qualify for a 9 Lives cat status. So bringing back Drew is completely feasible in the world of Young and the Restless. You may remember that she is Devon and Lily's mom. She is Lily's mother and Devon's adoptive mother. And with Devon and Lily still an active part of the character canvas, wouldn't it be great to see her back spending time with them? If you recall, she was also married to Neil Winters, and she had a one-time fling, I think it was just one time, with Malcolm Winters while she was hopped up maybe on cold medicine. That was when she got pregnant with Lily. Plus, you may remember that Drew was Sharon Newman's best friend. And so what happened with her character is Phyllis, Sharon, and Drusilla were near a cliff, and this cat fight broke out between Phyllis and Sharon over a phone with photos of Sharon cheating on it. Drew jumped in and tried to defend Sharon, and then the besties both went off the cliff. Sharon was found injured and recovered, but Drew's body was never found. Later, she was declared dead. According to Victoria Rowell, her character, quote, never died, she said, because her fate was, quote, nebulous and open-ended at the time of Drusilla's death in 2007. Then, in 2015, the actress sued Sony, which is the network that makes Y&R. She said she was raising awareness of what she saw as a lack of diversity in hiring, and said there was backlash on her career because of her speaking out about it. 2 years later, in 2017, she dropped the case, and the soap brought her back one time. Not the character, but the actress. They brought Victoria Rowell back in 2019 as part of the Neil Winters / Christoph St. John Memorial episode. All right, we want to talk about these real quick, and we'd love to hear your thoughts on whether you'd like to see any of these three back, or if there are different legacy characters that you would like to see brought back. But first, if you haven't already, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Young and the Restless spoilers, updates, and casting news. Let us know, what do you think about missing Paul Williams, missing John Abbott, and missing Drusilla Winters? Of the two of these three that could feasibly come back, which includes Paul and Drusilla, would you like to see them back on the scene, and what would you like to see them doing on Y&R?
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.